Alright guys, it's been a while since I created a Marvel Future Revolution video. Main reason being is the game's lacking content. It's been out for 6 months, and they've really only added 2 things excluding the campaign. One of them being Alliance Omega War, which you can do 4 times a week during a locked time period on the weekend. And they added Invasion, which lasts for about a month, and then it goes away, and then another Invasion returns. They added Training Grounds, but let's face it, I think Training Grounds is literally the dumbest thing this game could have added. Well, they could have added dumber things, but Training Grounds is dumb in my opinion. Shouldn't have been added. Should have been some other way to account for what Training Grounds has a purpose for. Anyways, with that being said, I've talked to a couple Alliance mates, and some of us come to an agreement that this game feels like it's still in a soft launch period. So I basically think they're going to try to relaunch this game in August on a 1 year anniversary. So I've been keeping track of the Omega Flight population since global launch. And since the server merge happened December 15th, I've been keeping track of the other servers as well. I also have some information on the servers before, such as Sakaar 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Hydra 1 through 7, and so forth. Note that during these calculations, one account can have up to 1 squad in each server. An example could be if someone started in Hydra 5 and they're like, there's not a lot of people in this server, I'm going to go to Hydra 1. When I count these squads, Hydra 5 is going to be included. Also, this chart is not official by any means. They are numbers I was able to gather from the servers to create a projection of active squads and squads created across the servers. When I was doing these charts, I was moving around some, so I think the calculations are still correct. So if something's wrong with these calculations, I'll fix them. But as far as the numbers go, I believe these numbers that I'm showing you are accurate according to the information I acquired from the servers. Keep in mind this is a free-to-play game, and these games tend to have a high quit rate. A couple of reasons why: a person can download the game for free, so they don't have to pay anything for it. So if they decide they don't like it, they don't have to get their money's worth out of it because they didn't buy anything to play it, so they would just simply uninstall. Other reasons could be the game is too much of a pay-to-win gap between pay-to-win minimum spenders and free-to-play. Could be there's not enough content fast enough, or something some person bought a month ago and they decided to nerf it or drastically change it, which can be false advertising to an extent, in my opinion. Or the game could just simply have too much bottlenecks and it's not worth them trying to grind or waste their time. So they would just simply quit. So I'm going to cover the first chart. So there's going to be some numbers. They're going to have a light green background to them. Those are estimated numbers, and you'll see in Sakaar 2, these are accurate numbers pulled from the server to my knowledge. So roughly 6,200 created squads were created right before the merge happened. So from August 25th to like December 15th, 6,200 squads were created alone in Sakaar 2. And the week before the merge, roughly 1,000 active squads in that last week for Sakaar 2, which sits at a 16.2% active rate. So I just put that for Sakaar 1, Sakaar 2, and Sakaar 3, and projected the active player rate or active squad rate based on the created squads for that server. Hydra 1, same thing. Projected it down to Hydras 2 through 7, 10%, 10.85% of the created squads to get the active squads before the server merged. And Sakaar or New Stark City 1 and 3, I just simply added them and got the average, put 13.81% on the other ones, and nowhere 8. I thought I had that information, but I apparently misplaced it. So I just estimated to be at 1900. And Omega Flight has the highest percent based upon active counts and created accounts. The reason being is Omega Flight kind of dodged the global launch period because these players, myself included, were playing 2 months ahead of time, so we didn't really have many global launch players to join the server. They went elsewhere. Midgardia 1 was the biggest server with over 25,000 squads created. Jotunheim would be another European server, and Asgard being the third. Asgard, according to this chart, Asgard 1 was the third highest created squad. New Stark City 1 was at number 2 with almost at 16,000. So the Raft, Xanderth, and Shadowlands, these would be your Asian servers. As you can tell, there is a lot of Raft servers. And you have Titan 1, Wakanda, and Frozen Peaks. This is your South Asian region. Titan was the one that had the lowest percent based upon active players for the accounts created on the server, under 10%. And then you have the total accounts created from global launch to December 15th before the merge. I guess you can include the 8,000 or so in this number for Omega Flight. Roughly under 6,000, under 60,000 active squads right before the merge happened. So I'm going to re-show this chart again. Just look at the left side on the active. This is basically your weekly players here. This does not include daily. This includes someone that may just play one day for the week or a couple days, but not daily. So the daily numbers are going to be lower. And you can see there's a lot of servers underneath 1,000. Midgardia, every Midgardia server is actually over 100. That's kind of a shock based on how these projections worked. But some of them are under. Look at all the rafts. All these are under 500. So that's why they had to merge the servers so soon. Players just weren't sticking to the game. They were quitting after a week or two. Maybe it was because of boredom, lack of content, too much RNG. Who knows? They just were not staying in the game, and the numbers show that. And I'll show you some more numbers as I continue with this video showing these charts off. And this chart is going to be in the description below, so you can look at it at your own time or your own pace if you want to look at different stuff in the charts. So anyways, yeah, if anyone was wondering the projections for anyone was wondering the total squads created without my projections added was roughly 340,000 squads created. With that being said, people say, well, there's over 5 million downloads in the Google Store. That's true, but keep in mind, the way I'm looking at it is when you download the game from the Google Store, it's roughly a half a gig. And then when you try to play the game, it tells you to download another 4 gigs. And a lot of people think that's too much storage for a mobile game on their phone, so they just simply uninstall. And from what it seems like, and from my understanding, that counts as a download in the Google Store, but not an actual account created in the game. So that's where there's such a big difference. Which I'll talk more about the download number at the last chart on this video. So the next chart, this chart right here just basically summarizes this whole chart on the left. So Sakaar 1 through 4 goes into Sakaar, 1 through 7 of Hydra goes into this row. Same total, same everything. I'm just pre-merging the servers to the server without a number on it. So New Stark City 1 through 7 turns into just New Stark City. And you can tell from this chart, New Stark City, Midgardia, and the Raft are the 3 biggest servers, and those are the 3 biggest servers that split up into 2. So next chart, this just shows the regions. So I combine Sakaar, Hydra Empire, New Stark City, Nowhere, and Omega Flight into the America region, and then Midgardia, Jotunheim, Asgard goes to Europe, the Raft, Xanderth, Shadowlands goes to Asia, and the Titan, Wakanda, and Frozen Peaks goes into South Asia. And this number just reflects the percentage of active based upon created squads for just North America only, which is sitting at 13.29%. We'll go to the next chart. So the next chart is when the purge happens. Basically, the server merges, inactive accounts get deleted, or people that have quit the game and haven't played for a while. So you can see there's a big difference between this chart up here. Accounts created before the merge, 441,000. After the merge, it is at 148,000. So 300,000 accounts, or possibly more, got purged from the game, deleted, whether they did not hit squad rank 10 or log in, I believe they said within the last 3 months. So here's the numbers of how many squads were lost in each server. Now keep in mind, like I mentioned before, say if someone started in Hydra 5 and decided to go to Hydra 1 and they didn't log on that account in 3 months, that's going to show a deletion in the Hydra category. So not necessarily the player quit, but the player had 2 accounts, quit one account and played on the other account, or played on the other squad, obviously. So that can cause in the inflation in deleted accounts. So, not necessarily they quit, but they just quit that squad and went to another squad in another server to try to play with a higher population group. That's possible. So just keep that in mind when you see the number of squads purged. And this right here just shows the notice that they stated partial server merge, and they removed inactive accounts. Alright, so the next chart is interesting. I decided to put this in. Basically, it just describes how many accounts were created after the merge by the end of the week. Roughly 70,000 accounts were created. So that's a lot, or created squads. A lot of people came to this game after the week, and I asked an alliance mate in chat, I'm like, did they do any ad for this game? Because I just saw the player numbers shoot up, and they said to their knowledge they didn't. So my guess is maybe the Google Store or the Apple Store probably put the game near the front somewhere in the store, because there's a big patch to the game that added a new character and so forth. So that's my guess is on why the numbers shot up so much for that week. So this is basically the merge data now. And once again, keep in mind duplicate squads can be counted as long as they're both active on a weekly basis. You can see the numbers just drop from week to week. Every single week they drop on almost every server. I understand it's a low number, so there is room for margin of error, but when you see every server just drop, I don't think there's a margin of error there. And I decided to quit doing this, but I decided to start back, so I just kind of filled in these numbers. So the last week I did it is accurate, this week is accurate, and I just kind of filled in here. But I kept track of a mega flight through the whole time, and you can just see it drops every week. Next chart just shows the actual player or actual squads lost from the previous week. Like I said, -3, that could be a margin of error. They could have gained some. It's not accurate, but it's relatively close. And this is the total of players lost on a weekly basis. And the number just goes down. You can see this is January 30th. I believe this is right when they nerfed some characters or so. So that reflects that number. And next week just shows the percentages from the graph above. You can see, roughly 5.73% squads quit the game last week or did not play for the week. So this chart on the bottom just shows the time from 1 month. So Sakaar 1 lost 1,500 players, or 1,500 squads, or almost 1,600 squads in 1 week. And down here you can see the percent. Almost 1/4 of your player base is gone in a week, according to this chart, if it's accurate, which I believe it is accurate. So in this one, I'll just add the So I'll add an extra month onto it. So including from December 26th to February 20th, you can see obviously the numbers are going to be greater because I'm including all of this chart plus an extra month. So this is just 1 month. This is adding another month and counting the current month as well, so 2 months. So over 33% of your squads are gone in 2 months. And there's a reason why this is happening, because the current state of the game is not good. It feels like it's getting worse. It feels like they're not listening to a lot of players, and the numbers in these charts reflect what's happening in the game. It feels like less people are logging on, you see less people, and so forth. So this is my secret chart. It involves on how these numbers are calculated, which I'm about to show. So in order for no one to see this, I had to actually delete it. Otherwise, you could see the functions up here relating to the cells. So this chart is deleted. It has something to do with this chart though, which I'm about to open up. Alright, same with this. This is secret. I'm keeping this blacked out. I deleted it so you can't figure out what was here. Anyways, moving forward, keep in mind I'm not going to explain how these numbers were calculated or whatnot, but simply the weekly numbers, or week numbers I would call them, I just carried over from the last week to over here. So I was basically throwing these numbers into some other numbers to try to figure out the active, probably daily log on players. Maybe these people that you see on this side right here. It's kind of hard to think that over 1,000 people log into Hydra Empire every day. I don't think that number is 100% accurate, but when I was plugging in these numbers, I just kind of left them as they are. So from what this chart projects is less than 15,000 people play this game daily. I mean, I don't think the game should make you play daily, but I think the game should make you want to play daily. And a lot of reasons why people don't play daily are because what's your daily content? Blitzes. Half the people don't even like Omega War. Half the people don't like Dimensional Duel. Not everybody can go into Dark Zone because of the time gate. So yeah, the numbers reflect the current state of the game. I think these numbers are accurate. Maybe you don't. Maybe you think they're lower. Maybe you think they're higher. I don't know. This is just kind of my opinion with some calculations. I generally think it's under 12,000, but it could be wrong. Like I said, this is my opinion based on the numbers I previously showed you and some of the stuff that I blacked out that you're not able to see. So here's the fun fact here. When the server merge happened, the starting squads of the started created squads was 148,000. So now we're at 631,000 created squads. So the squads created after the merge, based on the calculations I made, is 483,000. Over a 10-week period, I believe that's an average of 48,000 squads created per week. And your player base is dropping, but yet you're having 50,000 players projected. Now, this could be maybe someone's creating a squad on another server, who knows? But just projecting it out, if that number's close to being true, maybe 30,000 accounts created, but you're not keeping players. So the interesting fun fact here, I guess, is the total squad before the merge was 441,000, as seen before. So within 10 weeks, or a little over 2 months, you could see that more squads were created than the first 4 months of the game up to, or up like almost 4 months of the game. So from August 25th to December 15th, 441,000 were created. You can minus the 8,000 from Mega Flight if you want to. So more accounts are being created, or more squads are being created in the game, but yet the number is still dropping. Not sure why. State of the game, who knows? So, anyways, like I mentioned before, the chart's going to be in the description. I'm going to go over this chart one more time for people that don't want to click the link to get to this chart. I'm just going to quickly run through it. I just want to say, like, I want this game to be good. I kind of debate on doing this video or not because it's kind of a downed video to an extent, because a game that I want to like and kind of did like during soft launch is not a game that's relatively fun. They force way too many bottlenecks on this game, more than needed, and they continuously make things worse, whether it's gating XP behind training grounds. That's the dumbest thing in my opinion. I think that is the stupidest thing, like I mentioned at the beginning, and I think they need to change it, and a lot of other people think that as well. It's not just me. Or at least make it to where you're in training grounds, and if someone kills a mob by you, there's some form of shared XP or whatnot. Because if someone's killing mobs before you get to them, you're missing out on XP and you're wasting limited time you have in there. So maybe this game will get better. I hope so. So almost done showing these numbers. So yeah, if you like this video, just drop a like or subscribe. I plan on doing another video, and it's going to be on easy changes to make this game better, whether it's a person that spends on the game, whether it's a person that doesn't spend or spends a little. There's ways you can make the game better for everybody, or more enjoyable. So I'll probably make that next video maybe in a day or two, hopefully, and then I'll post it. But thank y'all for watching. Like I said, chart's going to be in the description. You can click on it and look at it whenever you want to. So until next time, see y'all later.